Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to take a look to my past. I'm going to go back to 2020 and I'm going to talk about how I made $10,000 in 1 month. I'm going to talk about the progression whenever I started my bookkeeping business and what I did to get there. So let's just jump right into it. If we've never met before, my name is Zach Pasquarello and I started my bookkeeping business in 2020 and I've been running it for the past 5 years. And now I have 70-ish bookkeeping clients. And I make these videos because I just love talking about my bookkeeping business. So I'm posting this on my YouTube channel, on my podcast. I'm going live on my YouTube channel every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 10 a.m. So if you missed this live episode, go ahead and tune in tomorrow and join me live at 10 a.m. You can ask as many questions as you want. So I'm going to go through all my notes. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to talk about how I made $10,000 in 1 month in my bookkeeping business. And then I'm going to get to the questions in the chat. So if you're watching live, go ahead and ask as many questions as you possibly can because I'm going to stick around as long as the questions keep coming up. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you how much money I made in the beginning. It's one thing to talk about what's going on now, but that's not super relatable. So I'm going to share what's going on or what was going on back in the day whenever I first got started. So this is my QuickBooks account. I'm sharing my screen right here, November 2020. You can see here I made $0 in November because I got the idea to start my bookkeeping business in October. In August of 2020, I started taking Intro to Accounting at Penn State, and I fell in love with accounting and debits and credits. And I wanted to start working as an accountant immediately, but nobody would hire me because I had no experience. So I did some research and I learned that I could start a bookkeeping business. You see here, I did take a course back in 2020, $797. I'll be honest, I don't think the course was very good. The content itself was mediocre at best. But the cool thing about the course, it gave me confidence. It gave me the confidence that I needed to get started, to start my bookkeeping business with no experience. And a lot of people have asked me if I have any course recommendations. I don't have any course recommendations. Because of that, I started my own course because so many people were asking me if I had a course recommendation. So I did make a course. It's linked down below. If you want to check it out, go ahead. And then I spent $15.90 on advertising and marketing. That was probably to get my website set up or maybe my domain. And then $75 for office supplies. Don't remember what that was. Not super important. But December, you can see here, December, I got my first client. I made $400 in December. And then things kind of blew up from there. January, February, March, $3,000, $4,000, $7,000 from January, February, March. But I wasn't at $10,000 yet. But the cool thing is, March of 2021, I quit my full-time job. At this point, I was like, you know what? I made $7,000 this month. I feel confident that I can quit my full-time job. The key there was, before I quit my full-time job, I ran my bookkeeping business for 5 solid months and I got clients. I made money. So I proved that this could work. And I also, really important, I also saved money. I had 6 months of living expenses saved up. So I knew worst case scenario, March, quit my full-time job. And then September, if the bookkeeping business totally fails, I can go back and I can work. I left a 6-figure job back in 2020. I was making $100,000 as an area manager at Amazon, and I quit that job. And if we scroll down here and go to the right, you can see the first 12 months of my bookkeeping business, I only made $65,000. So I took a step backwards and I only made $65,000. I say only, like that's not great. That's amazing. But compared to my full-time job, I did take a step backwards. And that's going to happen to you too, potentially. But at some point, you have to make the leap. Because you can see here, I made $11,000 in May of 2021. And then it dipped a little bit in June, 6,000. And then it went back up, 9,000 in July, 7,000 in August, 9,000 in September, 9,000 in October. End the year, $74,000 income, $10,000 in expenses, and a $64,000 profit. Now, if you're just now joining us on this live, go ahead and ask whatever questions you have in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. It can be about anything. It can be about bookkeeping, QuickBooks, sales, marketing, customer service, getting started, cleanup projects, onboarding clients, client agreements, whatever your questions might be. Go ahead and ask them in the chat, And then once I'm done going through my notes, I will go over everybody's questions. But now, I also wanted to drill down into that May. So I have here May 2021. This was the first month that I made $10,000. So let's zoom in here and let's just look at May 2021 and let's see where the money came from. Hopefully it loads here, but this was 5, 6, maybe 7 months after I started my bookkeeping business and I made $11,000. To me, this was insane. I remember every time I got a new client, I would come home for lunch or I would text my wife or call my wife and say, "Babe, I just got another client, $200 per month with a 3-month cleanup. Can you believe it?" It was so exciting. Every single new client just felt like I was on top of the world. And then it got to the point, 2 or 3 years later, it got to the point where I was like, "Uh-oh, honey, I just got another client. Not sure if I have enough time for this client," but everything worked out. So my business pretty much doubled. So at the end of 2021, I had about 10 monthly clients, and then I went to 20, and then I went to 40. And then at the peak, at the end of 2024, I had 80 bookkeeping clients. And then all year this year in 2025, I've stopped onboarding new clients. I'm not taking on any new clients, and I've lost several clients. I've had to fire a ton of clients just because I'm growing Zip Capital. I'm growing my investment fund, and I'm no longer focusing on Harrisburg Bookkeeping. I'm not growing Harrisburg Bookkeeping. I'm still running and managing Harrisburg Bookkeeping. I do everything by myself. I don't have anybody helping me. I run 70 bookkeeping clients. And then I also have a $3 million real estate debt investment fund. So I raise money from other people. I'm offering 8% up to 12% fixed returns to you guys. So if you're an accredited investor and you want to invest in my fund, you can invest money with me and I'll pay you 8 to 12% fixed annual returns. And then I take your money, I take my money, and I lend it to local real estate investors. So that's Zip Capital. That's also linked down below. If you want to learn more, if you want to chat about possibly investing in Zip Capital, then you can register on my website and we can chat about it. But that's the direction I'm going in 2025. No longer growing Harrisburg Bookkeeping, but I'm still managing it. I'm still running it. I do everything by myself. Social media marketing, Harrisburg Bookkeeping, Zip Capital, raising money, loan processing, the actual day-to-day bookkeeping, all my admin stuff. I do it all myself. And I'm not saying that's the best way to do it, but that's just the way I prefer to do it. So who knows? Catch me in 2 or 3 years. Maybe I'll hire some people. But I'm a bookkeeper. So I'm really good at the office administrative tasks. I don't necessarily need help managing my emails and managing my bookkeeping, which I feel like that's one of the first things that people outsource. So I'm not really sure if I ever outsource something. I'm not sure what it's going to be. But for now, I'm happy just running Zip Capital and Harrisburg Bookkeeping by myself. By the way, if you can hear me, if you can see me, let me know in the chat. I do have some technical difficulties. Like I said, I'm running all this stuff by myself. I'm not the best at technology when it comes to live streaming and microphones and cameras. So let me know in the chat if you can hear me, if you can see me. I would love to hear that. I would love to see that. Okay, let's drill down into May 2021, and then I'll get to the questions and I'll get to the live chat. So let's see here, $3,000. So you hear me talk about this a lot, I think. This was the client who enabled me to quit my full-time job. This was a large 2019-2020 cleanup, $9,000 cleanup paid in 3 separate payments. This was payment 3 of 3 in May 2021. And then you can see here another 2020 bookkeeping catch up for $1,250. And then I talk a lot about this client. This client, actually, we just parted ways this summer. So this was my client all the way back since 2021. So we've been working together for 5 years. They paid me $25 per hour, and it was usually about 40 hours per week, per month, 40 hours per month, $25 an hour. So when you ask me, like, who should be my first client? How much should I charge? Should I charge hourly? Should I charge monthly? I am a big advocate now for charging a monthly fixed rate. But back then, when I was just getting started, I took on a client, $25 per hour. So do what you got to do to get by. This was $1,000 a month. This was a big client for me back in the day. So I was happy to get them, although I would never recommend anybody take on work at $25 an hour. But if you're brand new, if you have no clients and you're just looking to get started and you're willing to learn and maybe work at a cheaper rate, hey, maybe 25, maybe 30, maybe $35 an hour isn't a bad place to start. I don't recommend working for free. I know Alex Ramosi and other marketing and business gurus talk about just work for free for a couple months or get a couple clients for free. I don't like the idea of doing that. I would at least rather get paid 20 bucks an hour, 25 bucks an hour. That way there's a little bit of give and take. That way you don't just work like a dog for 3 months and get nothing out of it other than experience. You can still get experience and you can still get a little bit of money at 25 bucks an hour. And then that leaves you room to kind of negotiate like, hey, been with you for 3 months, been with you for 6 months. I'm going to have to jack up these prices 5, 10 bucks an hour. But if you go from 0 to $40 an hour, that's a big jump. But if you go from 25 to 40 bucks an hour, that's a lot more reasonable. So this particular client, it looks like they paid maybe they paid 2 invoices in the month of May. So I made $956 for April, and then $660 for March. And then here, $500 for a bookkeeping client, for a monthly bookkeeping client, $470 for a monthly bookkeeping client, $450 for a very small 2019 and 2020 cleanup. And then I have $400, $400, 400, 400, 400, 350, 300, and then it looks like 200 and maybe $200 for a March and April catch up, and then 150 and 106. So I tell you, my minimum now is $300 per month. But you can see here when I was just getting started, $100 per month I offered to do somebody's bookkeeping. So I don't know how many clients this is, maybe 10 monthly clients. And then there are probably some Stripe processing fees here and some other miscellaneous charges, but all added together, $11,000. And the majority of it came from 1, 2, 3 cleanups, probably about 10 clients, 10 monthly clients, maybe 15 monthly clients, 3 cleanups, and then my one client who paid 25 bucks an hour and paid 2 invoices in May of 2021. So 5, 6, 7 months after I started, I made $10,000 for the first time in May. And also take a look at the timing of this in the year, May 2021, right around tax season. So I probably got a lot of clients in March and April, and then they stuck around for a couple months after that. So keep in mind, there is a busy season for bookkeepers. So if you're just getting started right now, you're actually leaving the busy season of tax extensions. So August, September, October, really busy time for bookkeepers and accountants because everybody who goes on extension, their taxes are due September 15th, October 15th. Same thing with March and April. So January, really busy, 1099s. February, March, April, super busy because of taxes. So if you're just getting started right now, don't get discouraged. Look at me. October, nothing. I started in October, I got nothing. November, still nothing. Started in October, 30, 45 days later, still no clients. But then December, I made 400 bucks. So I talk a lot about how much money I make now, and I didn't start off making hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you got to start somewhere, and now is a perfect time to start. Now is the perfect time to start. Do marketing for the next 30, 45, 60 days. And then come New Year, January, February, clients will start coming because taxes are coming up in March and April. Clients will come. So now's the perfect time to start marketing. Now is the perfect time to start marketing. Okay, enough of that. Let's get to the questions. Let's see what the people are saying. Let's see. Let's go back to this screen and we'll get rid of that. And we'll go to the questions. Okay, start at the top. Rose Marshall, good morning. Junior Wing King, Zach, I know you have other business ventures in your future, but are you leaving bookkeeping by any slight chance because you think AI will replace it? No, I think bookkeeping is amazing. I don't think AI is going to replace bookkeepers, but instead, I think bookkeepers who know how to use AI are going to replace bookkeepers who don't. Let's see, Junior Wing King. I have cash basis client who is interested in accrual entries for better picture of his business. I'm charging about $100 extra for this. The hardest one seems to be deferred revenue. How do you do it? So you need to track deferred revenue in a separate spreadsheet. You need to track deferred revenue in a separate spreadsheet. So you need to have a list of all of their invoices. And then you need to have a progress. You need to have a monthly progress update. So if you have a $10,000 invoice that started in June 1st, and it's a 6-month project. So you will basically move. So you'll take $10,000 divided by 6. So every month you'll take whatever that percentage is. Let's say a $12,000 invoice spread out over 12 months, and they're going to consistently complete the work over the next 6 months. $12,000, 6 months. So as soon as you get that $12,000, you're going to put that in unearned revenue. That's a liability. You have not earned that income yet. So as soon as you get that, then you're going to next month move $2,000 out of unearned revenue into income, into revenue. And so you're going to do that process for the next 6 months. You're going to slowly move $2,000 every month out of unearned revenue into income. It's a liability. This is a more complicated journal entry, but if you're on accrual basis, it's really important, especially if you have long projects. So I think it's great that you're offering that. I think it's great that your client wants that, but you need to keep track of that in a separate Excel spreadsheet. That's the important part. Keep track of that in a separate Excel spreadsheet. Let's see. Iris, good morning, and thank you for doing this for us. You're welcome, Iris. So everybody, please let me know if you like these, because I don't know. I don't know if these are good. I don't know if these are helpful. I hope you all like these. These take a lot of my time. So if you don't like them, if you prefer just the regular 10, 15, 20-minute videos and not the live videos, let me know, because that would be a lot easier if I could just do once a week posting a 20-minute video. Let's see, Junior Wing King. He's a landscaper. So if he collects money in advance for future services, how would I know that in order to book an entry to defer the income? Does QuickBooks have a tool to help with that? No, there is no tool to help with that. You need, like I said, you need to keep the spreadsheet. You need to keep the spreadsheet. He needs to tell you what percent is he complete. Maybe it's not straight line. Maybe it's a $12,000 invoice, and maybe he finishes a third of it in the first month, and then he doesn't work on it for 2 months. So it doesn't always have to be straight line like that. So it might be $4,000 in the first month, and then he doesn't touch it for a couple months. So I guess you've got two options. But either way, the client needs to communicate with you directly. You need to have that spreadsheet. Maybe have a Google sheet that you can both view and you can both work on together. But either way, you're going to have to work on that with him. Okay, let's see. Heath, what COGS did you have as a bookkeeper? Probably I used COGS whenever I was paying for my client's QuickBooks subscription. So I just called it COGS. It probably wasn't really technically COGS, but I still just called it COGS. Yeah. So just the QuickBooks subscription, and then they paid me back for it. So I would pay $100 for their QuickBooks subscription. I would just add $100 to their monthly bookkeeping fee, but I don't do that anymore. Strongly recommend don't do that anymore. I don't think it's a good idea. All right, next question. Michelle Santos. On average, how many people did you have to talk to get your first client? Michelle, unfortunately, I have no idea. But I don't know my metrics. But what I do know is that I just quite simply did as much work as I possibly could when I was just getting started. So I just did as much work as I possibly could when I was just getting started. That's really my only advice for you. So work 8 hours every day. And it's not so much about, let me just get to 100 messages or let me just get to 30 days. It's not really about that. I don't want that to be your focus. I want your focus to be, what do I need to do today? What can I do right now that will help get me more clients? And then that's your success. That's your win. Accomplishing something today that'll move your business forward. So getting clients is not the victory, because that's discouraging, because you're not going to have a victory for a long time. Instead, the victory is posting every day. That's the victory. The victory is posting every day. The victory is sending friend requests every single day. The victory is engaging with your community every single day. That's the victory. Not getting clients. That's not the metric I want to track. I don't want to track, am I getting clients? I want to track, am I consistent? Because realistically, that's all you have control over, is just simply your consistency. So track that, and that's the goal. That's the success. That's the win every day. Erica, thanks so much for sharing. This is truly motivating. I really appreciate that, Erica. Do you hire help? Let's see. Do you hire help to keep your clients' books up to date? No. Right now, I do all the bookkeeping by myself. So I'm managing, how many clients did I say? 70 bookkeeping clients all by myself. But keep in mind, I got these clients slowly over time. So I didn't just wake up one morning with 70 bookkeeping clients. That would be really hard. But instead, I slowly got 1 to 2 clients every month for 48 months, for 4 years. And so onboarding a client is really hard. It takes a long time. It doesn't take a long time. It's hard to get to know somebody's books and just to kind of learn how they do their bookkeeping. So that's hard. But once you get somebody onboarded and once you learn kind of their rhythm and their flow, it becomes a lot easier. So now I have 70 clients, but I've slowly onboarded them and I've slowly worked up to this point. But no, I do all the work all by myself. Peace for all. Is having security systems like Norton or McAfee on your computer necessary? I don't know. I don't. I don't have antivirus software on my computer. That might be kind of an old school thing, more of like an early 2000s kind of thing. I'd assume that because all these computers get updated automatically. Like these computers are all connected to the internet, all of the software. I assume they probably have something, but I don't know. I don't know. I just assume that. Michelle Santos, looking to just 10 clients at $1,200 a month. What do you recommend focusing on? To potential clients to get that? I do not want to do cleanups. So Michelle, I really like cleanup projects. So I'm not sure why you don't want to do cleanup projects. I think they're a really great way to make a lot of money in a short amount of time. So I love doing cleanup projects. So I would maybe encourage you to think twice about not doing cleanup projects and maybe consider actually doing them. But I keep it super, super simple. So my clients on average pay me $500 per month. So, and I just do bookkeeping. I just record transactions, reconcile accounts, and generate financial reports. I don't do budgets or dashboards or forecasting or tracking. I just do those three things. $500 a month. Each client takes me on average 2 hours per month. So I'm making about $250 per hour. And I love what I do. Super straightforward, super simple. Stewart just onboarded a client who has 2 short-term rentals. It took a little bit of time to wrap my mind around the mortgages, escrow, insurance, but I think it will be a simple process once going. Stewart, if you can learn how to do bookkeeping for somebody managing rentals, you can get a lot of clients because there's a lot of regular people who have 2, 3, 4, 5 rentals. And if you can understand how to do that bookkeeping, that's going to be hugely beneficial for you. Me personally, I love doing real estate investor bookkeeping. I love doing bookkeeping for flippers and also investors who hold long term. So, Stuart, congratulations. That's great. I hope it goes well for you. Roy, I've just started my own bookkeeping and payroll services. I have years as CFO for government, so I'm also going to provide advisory services. How long should it take before I get my first leads or clients? Roy, I would say it's going to take you 30 to 60 days to get your first client. So Roy, I actually have a 30-day social media marketing strategy guide available for download on my website. It's linked down below in the description of this video. Strongly recommend take a look at that social media marketing strategy guide because I will tell you, bookkeeping, QuickBooks, that's the first thing you need to know how to do. It sounds like, Roy, you probably already know how to do that, but honestly, that's kind of the easy part about running a bookkeeping business. Marketing and sales is the hardest part. You can look at what all these people are saying in the chat, what all the comments are saying. Everybody probably agrees. Marketing and sales is the hardest part. So you got to get your first client. You got to get your first 5 clients first. And then delivering high quality customer service is the most important part. So difference there, hardest part, most important part. Once you actually get your clients, once you've worked really hard to get your clients, then you have to, very importantly, deliver high quality customer service so that you don't lose your clients. Erica, do you know how to make year-end journal entries and journal entries to tie in with the tax return balances? If so, how do you do that? So typically, if you have adjusting journal entries, the tax accountant or CPA will give you a list of adjusting journal entries, and they will literally give you the chart of account and how much to debit and how much to credit. So if you do have adjusting journal entries to make, just lean on the tax accountant or the CPA. Tell them, hey, if you, I can absolutely do it. I can do it. You just got to give me the information because we are bookkeepers. We do data entry. We're not tax accountants. We're not CPAs. We're just bookkeepers. So we do the data entry. So you have to give me the information and then I will enter the data into QuickBooks. So don't be afraid to lean on the CPA, lean on the tax accountant, but absolutely offer to make the entries but you got to get the information first. I love the live videos. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Marianne McNaughton. Thank you. Jeffrey, I just feel like, if I can just be honest real quick, I just feel like not a ton of people are watching the live streams. So I'm not sure what I can do differently. I don't have a ton of skill in editing videos. So I'm not taking these live streams and chopping them up and making them into smaller videos. So I don't know. I just feel like more people were watching my older videos that were not live streams. So if I can just be totally honest with you, I don't know how I feel about the live streams, because it is a ton of work. It's a ton of work to do these live streams, but I love doing it. It seems like everybody who watches them loves the live streams, but I just feel like I'm not getting a ton of people to watch. So I don't know. I just want to get as much exposure as possible. Obviously, that's the whole point of making these videos. I want as many people as possible to see them. Let's see. So if that was just kind of me complaining real quick, sorry for that. I will do that again. Jeffrey, who is your website hosting company? HostGator.com. Host, but you can also go through Google. You can go through Squarespace. I would recommend go through Squarespace. I went through HostGator just because I was brand new. I didn't really know what to do. So I would recommend go through Squarespace with your hosting. That's what I would do. Let's see. Where are we here? I lost my spot, but I think I found it. Let me know if for some reason, maybe it's timing live stream, you can send out tweets and other notifications that you are live and direct them to the YouTube page. So let me know, guys. Is my picture big on the screen, or is it just because I can't tell? Let me know, what does my picture look like right now? Is it a big picture of me, or can you still see my QuickBooks account? Because it's really throwing me off. So let me know if you can see me big or if it's just my QuickBooks screen. Not really sure. Yeah, not really sure what it looks like. So please let me know. Okay. Let me try to get back to the questions here. Sorry, I'm kind of a little bit all over the place. Let's see. Loca Vioto, my one and only client is getting audited by the state of employment taxes. Anything I can do to protect myself? I did not do bookkeeping for him for the years being audited. Thank you, Luca. So there is nothing for you to worry about. If you did not do the bookkeeping for him, then whatever happens, it has nothing to do with you. So I don't think there's anything you need to do. I would just be very clearly communicate. Hey, so here's the thing. Whenever somebody hires me to do their bookkeeping, if you hired me in January of 2025, 2024, listen, I love bookkeeping. I love QuickBooks, but I'm not running a nonprofit here. If you don't pay me to do bookkeeping in 2024, then I'm not going to help with 2024. It's as simple as that. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be cold. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but seriously, if you didn't pay me to do your bookkeeping in 2024, I'm not helping with anything in 2024. The same goes if I lose a client, and if I did their bookkeeping in 2024 and then they fire me in January, and if something happens and they need help with 2024, I'm on the hook. So I do feel like I will help you with that. But the other way around, I won't help you with that. So I think if they're going through an audit before you started doing their bookkeeping, I don't think there's anything you need to do. Erica, might be personal, but how do you structure your income so you felt comfortable leaning on Harrisburg Bookkeeping? So like I said, so whenever I decided to quit my full-time job, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, I had 6 months of expenses saved up, and I had 3 or 4 months of proven success with Harrisburg Bookkeeping. So I had 5 or 10 clients. I had that big cleanup project, and I knew that it was working because it literally was. I was getting clients and I was making money. So I didn't quit my job until I was making $6,000 per month in Harrisburg Bookkeeping. So, but it all depends on you and your situation. It all depends on you and your situation, how much money you spend, how much money you need to survive. Some of you might be a fresh college graduate still living at your parents' house. Some of you might have a mortgage and 3 kids and need to pay the bills. So for everybody, or some of you might be 70 years old, retired, mortgages paid off, kids are out of the house. So we've got people all over the spectrum. So whatever that looks like for you personally, you need to make that decision when you can quit your full-time job, when you can go all in on the bookkeeping business. Mr. Rost, hi, Zach. My question is about sending friend requests or connections on LinkedIn. Do you send it for owners who are a long time in business? No. Nope. Whenever actually kind of the opposite. When I'm looking for potential clients, usually the business owners who have been in business for 10, 20 years, chances are they already have a bookkeeper in place. So I'm actually the opposite. I'm looking into new business owners who have only been in business for 6 months, maybe 2 years at most, because that's going to be your ideal client. Luke, I love these lives. They are incredibly helpful, Zach. Please keep doing them. Hey, if I could get a little bit more of that, I need that to keep going. If I could get a little bit more support and a little bit more encouragement, because honestly, I'm feeling burnt out and I'm feeling run down from doing these lives. So if these lives are helpful, it really, really helps me. It really encourages me to see people appreciating these lives. So if you could like this video, subscribe to my channel, give me a comment, give me a chat, let me know these are helpful. That really helps me continue to do these, because I'll be honest, it's kind of exhausting doing these videos, but I love doing it. I love doing it if you love hearing it. So if you love hearing it, let me know. Check out my podcast. Follow me on all my social media channels. They're all linked down below: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, everything. Check it out. Appreciate you guys. Abdullah, how do I get from USA clients as a citizen of Pakistan? USA clients don't trust me. So unfortunately, I don't have any. So everything that I teach is all based on my own personal experience. And I've never got clients from a different country. So I'm so sorry, but I don't have any advice for you because I've never been in that situation. Sweet Briar Farm, Cornwall. How do you price for cleanups? The exact same way that I price for regular bookkeeping, $3 per transaction. So if you want me to do a 2024 cleanup project, I'm going to look at all of your 2024 transactions, bank accounts, credit card accounts. I'm going to add them all up, multiply by 3, and that is your 2024 cleanup price. Grayson Smith, thanks, Zach, for all the info you provide. What percentage of your clients need a cleanup before starting monthly bookkeeping? I would probably say 20, 30, maybe 40%. I don't know for sure, but it's probably 1 in 4, sometimes 1 in 3 of my clients need cleanup. More so often, it's usually just 1 or 2 months. Like if I get somebody now, they'll probably come to me and say, hey, I just need help. Let's just go back to August. I think my old bookkeeper left off in July. So I just need help August, September, and then moving forward, starting in October. But to get a whole year of cleanup, that's a little bit more rare. I would probably say maybe 1 in 4 need last year's cleanup. Grayson, thanks, Zach, for all the info you provide. What percentage of your clients need a cleanup? Oh, sorry, just read that question. Guido Gill, hey, Zach, thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience. You're welcome. When a new client signs up with you, do you include the QuickBooks Online monthly fee into your monthly bookkeeping service fee? No, I do not pay for my client's QuickBooks subscription. I make them pay for that separately for 2 reasons. One, administratively, it's annoying to have to continue to update my price and include that in QuickBooks and explain to the client why QuickBooks is increasing their price. So administratively, it's a burden. But number 2, psychologically, it makes my services look more expensive. And I don't want to do that. So instead of paying Zach $200 for bookkeeping, they're paying Zach $250 for bookkeeping, when in reality, you're only paying Zach $200 and you're paying QuickBooks $50. So I don't include the QuickBooks subscription in my monthly fee. Erica, I'm afraid to do cleanup projects because it takes me so long to clean them up. It's hard for me to estimate it, so I stay away. So Erica, same way you would quote monthly bookkeeping, just $3 per transaction. So if somebody has 200 transactions per month, that's $600 per month for 12 years. That's $7,000. $7,000 is a lot of money. So I would recommend try to do cleanup projects if you have enough time, if you feel confident. Marianne McNaughton, if a customer wants to clean up for 2025 to now, they average 100 transactions a month. What would you charge them for their cleanup? $300 times 10, $3,000, and then $300 per month starting November 1st. $100 times 3 times 10 months is $3,000. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. Mike Melee, can you explain the busy seasons for bookkeeping again, please? It's all about tax season. So the busy season for bookkeeping is all about tax season. So February, March, April, January for 1099s, February, March, April for taxes, and then August, September, October. So the tax deadlines are March 15th, April 15th. And then the extension deadlines are 6 months later, September 15th, October 15th. Erica, appreciate you, $1.99. Thank you so much for the super chat. So if anybody has a question right now, you can do what Erica just did and drop a super chat in the comments, and I will answer your question right away. So we are running out of time. I only have 20 minutes left. So if there's a question that I have not gotten to yet and you really want me to answer it, the best thing to do is to do what Erica just did and send a super chat. You don't have to if you don't want to, but if you want me to answer your question, that's the best way to do it. Jeffrey, you can send out tweets and other notifications that you're alive. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Thank you, Jeffrey. So I'll be honest with you, my Twitter account only has 20 followers. So if you're on Twitter, go ahead and please follow my Twitter account. I'm not super active, but I do try to post every day on Twitter, and I only have 20 I just started like a month ago, so I only have 20 followers. So if you're on Twitter, go ahead and follow me. The link to follow me is down below. Erica, let's see. Maybe it's timing for the live stream. Yeah, maybe 10 a.m. is not a great time. So that's another great point. So if you're watching this live or if you're watching the replay, let me know. Is there a better time that I could go live? Maybe 10 a.m. doesn't work great for you. So let me know. Let me know if there's a better time, and maybe I can change it. DFOS, hey, Zach, could you talk about a couple ways bookkeepers could use AI to their advantage? So DFOS, I made a whole video about this a couple weeks ago. I made a whole artificial intelligence AI video, but there's two things you can do. There's two things you can do. You can use it to respond to clients. So if a client asks you a question and you're not really sure how to answer the question, or you just simply don't have enough brain power. So here's the cool thing about artificial intelligence. It can save you brain power. So sure, it might not take me too much time to type up 2 sentences and reply to an email, but if you're getting a ton of questions, or if there's a question you don't know how to answer, throw it in the ChatGPT and say, hey, can you respond to this email? And then it'll give you a nice long response. I usually say, okay, so it'll give you like all the formatted text in like a cool format that looks pretty for you, but it's kind of hard to take that and respond to an email with it. So I'll say, hey, respond to this email. Then I'll say, put your response into 3 sentences. And then that way I just copy and paste those 3 sentences and I reply to clients via email. Saves me it. And also, anybody watching this, if you've ever sent me an email, a lot of times I will reply to other people's, not just my clients, but other bookkeepers who, if you send me emails, I will, sorry to say, I will sometimes just throw your email into ChatGPT and I'll say, hey, like, give this person an answer, respond to this email, and then I'll just copy and paste it. That's one really good thing that you can leverage ChatGPT for, responding to emails, coming up with answers, but then also you can use it for brainstorming marketing content. So a lot of times I'll be like, I don't know what to post today. I'll go to ChatGPT. I'll say, hey, give me 5 ideas for a post I can make today promoting Zip Capital. And it'll give me 5, and I'll say, hey, I like number 2. Let's drill down into, give me 3 talking points for idea number 2. So I like that idea. Let's see, Marion McNaughton, only your pick. Not sure what that means. 50, not 50. Regarding live streams, could be the time slot. Keep it up. Love the live streams. Appreciate that. Jeffrey, just you in frame. We cannot see. Okay, good. Okay, you guys are answering my question. Got it. Let's see. Luca Viotto, thanks for the advice, Zach. Absolutely, you're welcome. If anybody else has any more questions, let me know, because I will stick around as long as I possibly can to answer everybody's questions. Let's see, Jeff, just lost 8 of my clients who were under the same umbrella, about 50K in total. Oh my goodness, Jeff, that's heartbreaking. Still have 21 clients, wanted to bring in an in-house bookkeeper. Should I charge them for any calls or questions? Oh, Jeff, that's heartbreaking. Losing 8 of your clients who were under the same umbrella. So Jeff, this happens. This happens all the time. Unfortunately, there's really 2, as long as you're doing a good job, let me just reassure everybody, this happens. Jeff, first of all, thank you so much for being honest and transparent. That I really appreciate that, because I guarantee you there are other people who are watching this right now who are experiencing the same thing that you are going through right now, and it sucks. It really sucks. There's 2 reasons you might lose a client. Number 1, they go out of business, which nobody can stop that. Their business failed. They went out of business. That's unfortunate. But the other way that you lose clients is They move on to an in-house bookkeeper, or their tax accountant or CPA or accounting firm takes over their bookkeeping. And Jeff, it sounds like you just, so either the business fails, or the business grows so much to the point where they need more help. So it sounds like you were the latter. It sounds like you lost them because they need an in-house bookkeeper. Should I charge them for any calls or any questions? So are you talking about the person who just fired you? I wouldn't help too much. I don't like doing that. So you want to do a reasonable job, right? You do want to answer reasonable questions. If you can respond to it quickly in an email, I would offer one meeting. I would offer one meeting to do the handoff. But other than that, I don't really think you owe them a whole lot. I would do one meeting for the handoff. I would answer a couple questions, but I wouldn't mess around with charging them for calls or questions. I would just do one meeting, 15-minute, maybe 30-minute meeting for the handoff, and then a couple, 2 or 3 emails with questions. And then I would just be done with it. But Jeff, I'm so sorry that you lost those clients. That's a lot of money. But Jeff, I promise you, there's more clients out there to get. So luckily you still have 21 clients. Don't get discouraged. Don't do what I did. I got a full-time job when this happened to me. In the summer of 2022, I panicked and I got a full-time job as a remote accountant. And I regret doing it because it took up a lot of my time, obviously. But don't do that. Just go all in on sales and marketing. Continue doing a really good job for the 21 clients you still have. Go all in on sales and marketing. Don't get discouraged. Keep it up. Let's see. Heath, I look forward to the live stream every day. Thank you. Wow. Really appreciate that, Heath. Zach, your lives have changed my philosophy. I've gotten further with my bookkeeping business. You are so much better than the other bookkeeping channels. Really appreciate that, Junior Wing King. These lives are great. Love the videos. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a fantastic job. I'm learning a lot. I really appreciate all that support. Thank you all so much. Let's see. Hi, Zach. These lives are super helpful. Thank you. Was wondering about the AR process is for your business. What systems or software do you use to bill and collect payment? This is a hot topic. Let's see. Who is that? Bracha's CSUMB videos. This topic comes up a lot. So I do 2 things. I set up recurring transactions in QuickBooks. So we all have a QuickBooks account. And so you can go to your customers and you can go to recurring transactions and you can set up a recurring invoice. So when I was just getting started, I used QuickBooks as a payment processor and I set up a recurring invoice for the first of the month for $500. And so on the first day of every month, the $500 invoice would send to the client. And then directly in that email, they had the option or the ability to pay for that invoice whenever they received it. And then that's it. So I use QuickBooks as a payment processor, recurring transaction. The invoice would get sent to the client. They would pay the invoice. That's how I got started. But then I switched to automatic billing. And so now I have ACH origination set up in my bank account. So now I get the client's bank information. And this is all part of my client agreement. I get ACH authorization. They sign it. They give me authorization to pull their monthly fee every month. So now they're not paying me, I'm paying myself. I'm pulling my payment from their bank account on the first day of every month. I still set up the recurring invoice in QuickBooks, and then I match the invoice to the payment that I receive automatically from their bank account. So that's how I recommend you should set it up. It's so much better. I don't wait for people to pay me. Nobody's ever late because I literally pull the payment every single month. Let's see. MN, thank you, Zach. Please don't stop the live videos. If you no longer do the live streams, thank you. I've learned so much already. I know how. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, MN. Appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. Jeff, I would say yes, a consulting hourly fee to help them transition. They will still need to pay for your services. All right, that's good advice, Jeff. Marion, I'm very grateful for these lives. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much for your support. Guido, Gil, do you ever utilize the QuickBooks Live Expert Assisted service? I use them a lot in the beginning. So you can schedule a callback. At least you could back whenever I was using them, back 2 or 3 years ago. If I was having a QuickBooks problem, I would schedule, you can click on help in the top right-hand corner, and then you can schedule a callback. And you type in your phone number and they will call you usually within 5 minutes, maybe 10, 20 minutes, depending on how busy they are. And so I did use that feature a lot in the beginning. So you click on help, you click on contact us, and then there should be an option for a callback. So I did utilize them a lot in the first 2 years. They are super helpful. and you can share your screen, really helpful. I don't use them at all anymore because I kind of know everything there is to know about QuickBooks, but back in the day, absolutely. Super helpful. Do you okay, let's see. Rafi Quizada, great content, Zach. Thank you, Rafi. Appreciate it. Rebecca, Zach, thank you so much for the valuable value you provide. I have seen some issues with QBO accounts. Do you have any feedback? I have seen some issues with QBO accounts. Do you have any feedback, Rebecca? That question's a little bit vague. I'm so sorry. I don't really know what you mean. Erica, another suggestion: shorten the lives and answer a certain amount of questions. Erica, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Like right now, I'm starting to gas out. So I do think maybe 30 minutes would be better, but so many people ask so many questions. So I don't know. I just stick around and try to answer everybody's questions. So I might have to switch to maybe a shorter live stream. That's a good idea. Let's see. I love the live streams. I look forward to them every morning, hoping to follow your path after graduating this semester. Although I'm leaving, thanks again. It's my daughter's birthday and I've got to go get all the kids ready. All right, Erica, appreciate you. Thanks so much. Let's see. MN Lakes Area Homes. I know you mentioned that cleanup is just like doing several months of bookkeeping all at once. I am curious what your specific process is for going through month by month for a cleanup project. It's a long process. It's impossible to go through really quickly. There's 2 or 3 things I look for right away. So first, I get the bank statements and credit card statements immediately from the client. And then I look at checks. If they have a large number of checks, you need to figure out who did they pay and what did they buy. So if you're not able to see the check images, then you have to ask the client, hey, here's a list of checks. What was this? And then I look at bank deposits and I ask the client, was this all income? Is it safe to assume all of these deposits are income? Or could it be that some of this was owner's investment or maybe a line of credit or maybe a loan? So look at all the deposits, look at all the checks, and ask those questions right away in the beginning. And then I just start going through the debit card and credit card transactions. And I try to categorize as much as I can. You can look at the bank detail. You can see where they went and who they paid, and you can figure out how to categorize those transactions. That's it, everybody. I see there's a few more questions, but I got to hop off. I got to get back to work. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for your support. Let me know in the comments if there's a better time that would work for you. If not, subscribe to my channel, show up every morning at 10 a.m., join me for my live streams. Check out all the links in the description of this video. I've got an investment fund. You can register on my website. We can chat about you investing into Zip Capital, earning 8 to 12% fixed returns. You can check out my course, follow me on social media. I go live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 10 a.m. I don't go live on Monday because I host a private group meeting every Monday at 3 p.m. So there's also a link down below to join the private group meeting. If not, I will see you all tomorrow, 10 a.m., same time, same place. Thanks so much, everybody.